You can see him in Berkeley at the Greek Theater on Saturday, June 8th. You can hear him right now on the Yuma guest line on the Murph and Markus show. Brian Murphy, Markus Boucher. Bill, we had you on once a few years ago. Great to have you back. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Bill?
I'm vacuuming granola out of a child's seat.
Okay, that's how you're doing
right now.
That's how you're doing.
Yes, I'm doing the dad thing.
How's it going?
That's what I'm doing.
How's the vacuuming going?
It's going good. It's going good. I've been watching some sports what I can watch. What I've been watching. I know the Panthers tied up the Rangers 2-2, and that the Minnesota Timberwolves staved off elimination, which is good for me because I'm a Celtics fan. So if Dallas is going to make it, I want them a little bit tired.
Where are you with these current Celtics, man? This is like the group. They're getting kind of knocked nationally for not winning it all when they're like, what do you mean? We're going to go try to win it all right now.
Yeah, and so what do you mean not winning it all? Do you mean the way that everybody's like the NBA, you buy a championship. That's basically what it is. Okay? Last championship we won, we fought. The Lakers started this whole thing. The Kobe was a Charlotte Hornet. Shaq was from Orlando. Phil Jackson was from Chicago. That whole run that they did, there's legit ones in there, though, like the Spurs, the Detroit Pistons, the first Warriors, the Nuggets last year. But generally speaking, you have to go out and buy it. So, we don't have, the kind of climate that people want to go to. It's really the weather. People talk about racism in Boston, which is so stupid. I love how they try and act like white racism only exists in the South and in Boston, Massachusetts. But I've done the road, and I know every time the Lakers win a championship, within 10 minutes is a police car overturned and on fire. I don't think that's an expression of people saying how thrilled they are with the current situation.
No, and Bill, we know that Kyrie Irving was pretty vocal about his time in Boston. There's a possibility if the Mavericks close out this series that he would be coming back to Boston.
Can I tell you something? You can take that story and just go throw it in a bottle and toss it in the ocean. That's what you guys are going to do, and then you're going to show footage of busing in 1970s. We're never going to get past that. This is the thing. Kyrie Irving had a problem everywhere. Okay? Just remember that. He had a problem in Cleveland. He had a problem with LeBron. He had a problem in Boston. He had a problem in Brooklyn. And now they're going to come at us and play that whole thing, and then they'll say the racial undertones. And it's like, dude, he lives in Texas. Are you going to act like that's open-minded and he's finally able to be free?
Mm-hmm. It is a tough deal, man. I don't know why Boston does get that knock. By the way, the voice you hear is Bill Burr.
Because you guys are lazy.
Wait, you guys, we're not saying it.
When I'm talking about sports. That's what you guys do.
All right.
It's what you guys do.
All right. So,
if there's a game in Boston, they show a lighthouse and a guy with a lobster, right?
Yeah.
We're all fishermen.
Yeah.
If you show Philly, there's the Liberty Bell and somebody dressed like a founding father.
Yeah.
New York, hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah.
Rutger Park. It's the same 5 things.
BillBurr.com is go get the tickets next Saturday at Greek Theater. In fact, that leads us to San Francisco and Berkeley. What's it like for a guy like you? Boston's such a part of your identity. Is the West Coast it's like another planet to you? What's it like out here for you?
Yeah, it was initially, but it's kind of sad watching what happened in San Francisco with all those tech nerds going out there and buying up the whole city. And I do call them tech nerds, not tech bros. Mm-hmm. They try to make it frat adjacent so they can keep the Me Too thing going or something. I don't know what that's about. It's like they're not bros. There's nothing bro about a guy building an app. He's a nerd. So let's get the blame where it belongs. Speaking of which, I love when young people will go, okay, boomer. Like the amount of stuff Generation X gets away with because young people think anybody old is part of the boomer generation. It's fantastic.
Bill, I'm with you, buddy. I'm exactly like you. I'm not a boom. The hell with it. I'm Gen X like you.
No,
bud.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, that's right. Us baby boomers, the worst thing.
We'll just embrace it.
I love that they're getting all the blame. It's fantastic.
We're embracing it. Bill Burr's going to be in Berkeley at the Greek Theater a week from Saturday. What a venue to go see him, too, by the way. And he'll be crushing the tech nerds when he comes out here.
Yeah, and Bill, whether it's you coming from Boston out to the Bay Area or a guy like Tom Brady coming from the Bay Area going out to Boston, he's done the coast-to-coast kind of trip. I'm sure you've been asked 1,000 times about the Tom Brady roast, but was Tom Brady being roasted about being from the Bay Area when he first came to Boston?
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was. Tom Brady got roasted his whole career by the Indianapolis Colts. They ran like a smear campaign while the Colts were the biggest cheaters in the league. It's kind of amazing.
What did you? I know you've got.
You guys sat back while the owner of the losing team conducted an independent investigation. The owner, who's a convicted drug addict with a dead mistress, hires a guy who says he's a scientist who isn't one, and all he could find was an equal amount of underinflated balls, and that stuck. And meanwhile, you got other guys in the league who have steroids delivered to their house. Oh, it's in my wife's name. They get to be Johnny Roast Beef, and nothing happens.
Hey, man.
Why would I go roast that guy? Dude, the Indianapolis Colts, their owner sat on the competition committee. He made the way we covered it, their receivers illegal. Then they stole our offense and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. All truth. Facts, as the kids say. As they say to us boomers.
ESPN did a study showing an underinflated ball got there a little bit later.
Ooh.
It was actually not an advantage. Aaron Rodgers goes, I like an overinflated ball. They lost by 35 and let up 300 yards rushing. It's one of the most successful smear campaigns I've ever seen in my life.
It's a true story. But Brady, 7 rings, hard to argue with. Bill Burr going to be at the Greek Theater in Berkeley a week from Saturday. Hey, speaking of Boston, how about this one, man? Our Giants went back to Fenway a couple weeks ago, and our producer got us Carl Yastrzemski on the phone, Bill, age 84.
Wow.
It was dude, I'm telling you, it was one of those goosebump, like, I didn't even know, like, tongue-tied. What would you say to Yaz?
Oh, you know what? I would probably ask him all about the 60s when he played, because he came into the league, while Mickey Mantle was still, one of the best guys out there. Willie was still playing. He got to catch the tail end of that golden age of the 40s and 50s and the Subway Series and all that. I would probably ask him about that, and if he was in the National League, I would try to ask guys what it was like to face Josh Gibson. In fact, I met Pete Rose. He was doing autograph signing in Vegas, and I asked him, I go, hey, who's the toughest pitcher you ever faced? I was with a buddy of mine. He just sits back and goes, who do you think? Like he was like testing us. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to answer questions just because you think you got to ask me a baseball question. So I was like, I said Josh. He said no. I said Drysdale. He said no. I said who? And he said Sandy Koufax. And then he made this gesture with his hands showing a curveball falling off the table. He did it with both hands. That guy was the hardest guy I ever faced. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. And I got him to sign 2 pictures, identical pictures. The 75 and 76 World Series says these black and white photos of him diving headfirst into third base without a helmet on, one against the Red Sox and one against the Yankees. So I'm a Red Sox fan, so I go, can you write, Bill, I'm sorry on the first one? And he looks at me, gets that competitive look in his face, and he goes, I'm not. I go, no, dude, you're going to get the joke. I'm a Red Sox fan. And then here, can you write, you're welcome, Pete Rose? So I have both of those things.
Those are awesome.
He got like a laugh out of that. But what I loved that he didn't, still. Yeah. I said, yeah, thank you for beating the Yankees in 76. And he goes, swept their asses. He was like, it threw the switch. Like, the guy's so dialed in. I mean, I think at this point, it's really ridiculous that, these leagues are in bed with sports gambling and they're making money off of gambling. And I know that's still not the same as a player doing it.
Yeah.
But listen, don't do this thing where you wait till he dies and does it. All right, give the guy a break, okay? He's got a bowl haircut and he went bald. What else? He's signing pictures for idiots like me at Caesar's Palace. Can you put the guy in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
I think he paid. Dude, it's literally 35 years at this point.
Was that good for our guy Bonds too? Then our guy in San Francisco, we love him. We're the only city that loves Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds is a victim of the steroid era. Barry Bonds was the guy, and then a bunch of people cheated. And then the president was calling them instead of Barry, and Barry was like, all right, here's me on steroids. Here's 73. What are we doing here? I can do it with or without steroids. I can if nobody's doing steroids, I can beat you. If we're all doing steroids, I can beat you. My only complaint about that era is that when the guys would go up with that medieval manner, like metal sleeve from their shoulder all the way down their wrist, and they'd be leaning out over the plate. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the admiring the home run and pointing at the dugout and the next guy doesn't get beamed in the head. I miss those days.
Bill Burr is, of course, the voice you hear this morning on the guest line. You can catch him at the Greek Theater in Berkeley on June 8th. And Bill, I've got to ask you about the life of Bill Walton. Obviously, his playing time in Boston, but he's a universally loved figure in the world of sports. Not sure if you had a chance to interact, but just give your thoughts on the passing of Bill Walton.
Oh wow, I just saw this stuff on him on Instagram. I saw like 5 clips during the course of the day before I realized he had passed away. But obviously, one of the greats of all time, both in college and in the pros. I don't know. It was a real fun era. When I started, by the time I watched him, he had come on to the Celtics. He was already done with Portland. What did he do? Did he go to the Clippers before he came to Boston? I think he went somewhere.
Yeah, the San Diego Clippers. How about that?
San Diego Clippers, yeah. Which is his hometown, which is great. So, and I just remember being really happy for him when we won. I think he was on the '86 team.
Yeah. And
I remember that was like a big deal. And he didn't play much longer than that. He got to, play for the Celtics when we were doing our thing back then. And, he just seemed like a real chill guy. It's funny, I never knew that he was from San Diego. I knew he kind of had that hippy-dippy, Grateful Dead vibe and everything. But I like that whole, riding his bike. And he just always seemed like in a good mood. I mean, I don't even really remember him, like, complaining to officials that much. But he just seemed like a guy that figured out life pretty early on. He was a great dad, and then everybody had a bunch of great stories about meeting him and him smiling and signing the autograph, and then having a long conversation with the person. There's not a lot of guys like that out there. So I don't know. Maybe I'm old now, but I feel 71 was pretty shocking. I was way too young.
Yeah, and with great Celtics. And he kind of does what you does, Bill. He did comedy. I mean, his broadcast frequently delved into extemporaneous comedy. Like, he would riff,
Yes, he would. Sometimes on purpose, sometimes not.
Accidental riffs, too, yeah.
Accidental riffs. Yeah, that great clip where he's going like, they need to hit some threes. He goes, why? He's like, they're winning. And then the main guy's like, no, they're not. They're losing. He goes, oh, all right. I don't even know what building I'm in right now.
The accidental riff, right? Hey, man, we should point out that before we let you go, unfrosted, dude. You got to play JFK for a guy from Boston. That's it. You peaked, huh?
I know. I'll tell you this. There's the big misconception that there's this huge connection and affinity with the Kennedys if you're from Boston. You have to understand, they were just in a completely different stratosphere than, like, you never saw Kennedy unless Ted was making a speech. It was just like, they're like Illuminati level people. Right. So that's why, like, people go, oh, you were able to do the accent, but you're from Boston. And I try to tell them, it's like, dude, nobody talks like them. That's a combination of, I know the Queen of England, and I've been in like an Illuminati armada going across the ocean or something. Like, they're in their own. They have their own compound.
Yes.
It's so it's not like I just walk down the street like, hey, Bobby Jr. Hey.
No.
They're in a lobster roll, Teddy. I saw Ted Kennedy one time when Bill Clinton came to town. It's a long story. That dude had the biggest head. It was like as big as a microwave. It was unbelievable.
He was a big-headed man. So you weren't playing touch football.
He was.
On the lawn.
Good thing he didn't have any good ideas.
No.
Good thing he didn't have any good ideas. That jack-o'-lantern on his shoulders.
Oh, man. You're right. That voice was like you're right. It's that Queen of England Illuminati. It's that lockjaw thing kind of, right? That aristocrat thing?
It is. It's upper class. And I'm sure their dad didn't talk about it because he was like, he was a bootlegger or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
It's all sacrilegious and stuff I'm saying. But I do like Bobby Jr.,
Okay.
The guy was saying what's actually going on, so immediately he's branded a communist, anti-Semite, friggin' whatever, shoplifter.
Okay.
That's when this is when you know that the person running for president is telling the truth, is when they start doing that. You're like, oh, that's the guy telling the truth. And then the other person just gets out there, 1,000 points of light, leave no kid behind, ask not, just say no.
Pretty good.
You don't want big government in your life.
Yeah.
You don't want big government in your life. That was the greatest one growing up. Like they cared about the person making $20,000 a year. So corporations could be not regulated.
Yes.
That's basically what happened, and now you got what's going on.
Great.
It is funny they're trying to bring down Live Nation. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, we can sit here all day and talk about all the movies and TV shows that you've had success.
I got to take my kids to school, so I got to run here.
Get the granola
Right?
out.
Perfect.
Bill
Don't be
Burr.
the hacky sport. Don't be the hacky sports show that doesn't address that Kyrie Irving had problems every single team he went to.
Boom.
I know we're racist in Boston, but come on, for the love of God, let's tell the whole story for once.
The Kyrie Irving take is in. You will be in Berkeley next Saturday. Go take the kids, Bill. Be good.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
All right, we'll see you. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bill Burr on fire on KNBR 104.5 and 680. The Sports Leader.
I saw Ted Kennedy one time when Bill Clinton came to town. It's a long story. That dude had the biggest head. It was like as big as a microwave. It was unbelievable.